If I told you there was a compound in your body right now that helps clean toxic waste out of your brain and helps you live longer, and that this compound drops by about 50% as you get older, would you want to know how to get it back? Because according to the research on longevity, that decline may be one of the reasons why your brain ages in the first place. You can't remember the name of the person you just met, where you left your keys. You have no mental energy. Recall is not so good. Possibly even a higher risk for Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Today I'm talking about Spermidine. And after reading the research for this review, I think Spermidine may be one of the most important longevity nootropics I've covered on this channel. But there is one thing about Spermidine that almost nobody explains properly. And once you understand this mechanism, the entire supplement suddenly makes sense. So stay with me because this gets really interesting. Spermidine is a polyamine found in every cell in your body, including your brain. And yes, it got its name because it was originally discovered in human sperm, which means that every YouTube video on Spermidine eventually has to mention that at least once. It was discovered in 1678 by Dutch scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Now, we can only imagine why Antony was looking at sperm under his microscope, but he didn't name it. That honor goes to German chemists Ladenburg and Abel in 1888. And the thing is, it wasn't known until the early 2000s how Spermidine was involved in longevity. Your body naturally produces Spermidine when you're younger. The problem is that your levels steadily decline as you get older. Researchers estimate that Spermidine levels drop by roughly 50% between your 20s and your 70s. That decline appears to directly affect something called autophagy. Autophagy is your brain's internal cleanup and recycling system. It removes damaged proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, and cellular waste. And these waste products accumulate inside of neurons over time. Your brain cells don't easily replace themselves. So if damaged proteins and dysfunctional mitochondria accumulate for decades, eventually neurons stop working. That is exactly what researchers see in diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. What makes Spermidine so interesting is that it appears to be one of the strongest natural activators of autophagy discovered so far. It's not stimulation, it's not dopamine, it's not caffeine-like energy, it's cellular cleanup. And according to the research, that cleanup and waste removal may be one of the keys to healthier brain aging. Now, before you go clicking away and thinking that this is just another anti-aging buzzword supplement, and since you're still in your 20s, this doesn't apply to you, this next part may come as a shock. So stay with me for just a couple more minutes. Now let's talk about what the researchers found. One of the most interesting studies came out of Charité University in Berlin. Researchers gave older adults with subjective cognitive decline either Spermidine or a placebo for 3 months. The group taking Spermidine showed better memory performance compared to the placebo group. Now that's important because subjective cognitive decline is often considered an early warning sign before Alzheimer's starts to develop. The mechanism makes sense. Animal studies show that Spermidine helps preserve synaptic density in the hippocampus. It increases brain-derived nootropic factor, BDNF. It also appears to protect neurons involved in learning and memory. BDNF is critical for neuroplasticity. Low BDNF is associated with cognitive decline, depression, and Alzheimer's disease. So when researchers see Spermidine increasing BDNF while simultaneously improving autophagy, that's when everyone sits up and takes notice. Now this next part may be even more important. One of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease is the buildup of amyloid beta plaques and tau tangles inside the brain. These damaged proteins accumulate over time and interfere with brain cell signaling. Researchers studying Spermidine found that it may help reduce both inflammation and the accumulation of amyloid beta. In Alzheimer's mouse models, these are little mice that gave them Alzheimer's, poor mice. Spermidine shifted microglia away from causing chronic inflammation into more of a cleanup state. Now that's critical because overactivated microglia release inflammatory cytokines, such as tumor necrosis factor A, interleukin-1 beta, and interleukin-6, which damage neurons over time. So instead of constantly attacking healthy brain tissue, spermidine appeared to help restore their normal cleanup function. Researchers also found improvements in mitochondrial function and mitophagy. In other words, spermidine helps clean up dysfunctional mitochondria. In plain English, better mental energy, less oxidative stress, and improved removal of damaged mitochondria. That matters because mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the biggest causes of brain aging. Now, here's something else that I found while researching spermidine. A lot of people using spermidine don't describe it like a traditional nootropic. Most users describe changes over several weeks. Better mental clarity, improved energy, and better sleep quality. Some people report improved memory and recall. And if you have hair, then you'll love this part. Many users also reported reduced hair loss, new hair growth, and even the reversal of gray hair. So is this the new hair growth supplement? Well, only time will tell. One user recovering from traumatic brain injury said he finally could remember phone numbers long enough to write them down again after adding spermidine to his stack. He couldn't do that before. So how do you actually use spermidine? Most clinical studies use between 1 and 1.2 milligrams daily. The European Food Safety Authority approved doses up to 6 milligrams per day. Personally, I recommend starting with around 1 to 2 milligrams daily. Then give it at least 4 to 6 weeks before deciding whether it's working for you. Many supplements use spermidine-rich wheat germ extract. Newer synthetic forms like spermidine 3-HCl are starting to appear because they provide more precise dosing, and that form is safe up to 40 milligrams per day. And if you decide to add spermidine to your nootropic stack, make sure that the company clearly lists the actual spermidine content and not just wheat germ extract. And that's important. You also want to know if they use third-party testing and can prove it by providing you with the test results if you ask them for it. The same goes for all nootropic supplements because purity actually matters. Now, I know you might be wondering, is spermidine safe? Well, so far, the human clinical trials look very good. Most studies report no side effects. Occasionally, mild issues like bloating or nausea. But overall, the safety of spermidine appears excellent, especially considering that your body naturally produces spermidine already. Now, here's my take after going through all this research. Most nootropics try to force your brain to perform better. Spermidine is different. It appears to support the underlying maintenance systems that keep neurons healthy as you get older. That's a different approach. Honestly, it may end up being one of the smarter long-term strategies for protecting your brain, particularly if you're over 25. Because by that point, autophagy has already begun to decline. The scary part is that brain aging starts decades before symptoms appear. You're not aware of it. It just sneaks up on you until it's too late to do anything. And that's why longevity researchers are so interested in compounds like spermidine. And honestly, you can't magically reverse aging overnight. But with a nootropic like spermidine, you may help your brain maintain itself before serious damage accumulates. And that's a big deal. You keep feeling good, and you do your family a favor too, because you're here longer, and that's a good thing. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel and hit the share button so others can learn how to live longer too. I would really appreciate that. If you could use some personal help with choosing the right nootropics, consider booking a personal consultation with me. I would really like to help you feel better, like I have with over 2,000 other people whom I've worked with. It's not expensive and could be the best gift to give yourself. You deserve it. You can also join our YouTube membership. Get help from others in our community. That's a way to learn from others. If you choose the Neurohacker 2.0 tier, there's a good chance I'll personally review your nootropic stack, and I'll make a video with my suggestions for improving your stack. So join now before you do anything else. If you have already tried spermidine, let me know your experience in the comments below. I read every one of them. I really appreciate your feedback. If you want to read the full review on spermidine, including the clinical study references, you'll find it on my website, Nootropics Expert. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. And if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest watching my review of the newest nootropic technology in the nootropic supplement space. It's called Igniton. So go watch that one next. I'm David Toman, author of Nootropics Expert and this YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.